one other thing that I recalled just as we ended the recording was go up to, and it's already been done, that's the reason it worked, but go up to File and Preferences on the CUPC, click on Accounts, and for voice messaging, we needed to enter our user ID as it was seen by Unity Connection. So back on our Unity Connection admin interface, we'll log you back in. And if I go over to users, we had done the password as 55555, and the user ID as Unity Connection saw it was CCM1002. So it was important that we put in CCM1002 and password 55555. Okay, so that was one thing that was important, and we saved that, so we'll just log back in. It'd probably be a good thing to have the password the same, but it doesn't have to be as CUCM. The other thing was the fact that, there we go, voicemail's up, soft phone, everything okay. So one other key important bit was in CUCM, one of the ways that Presence deals with controlling or querying CUCM, I should better put, for the status of any lines is by the user ID, of course. And the user ID used to be, if we click on, let's say, Hugo Reyes's phone, we do have a place for owner user ID on the device, and that in CUCM 5 used to be important for Presence, because essentially whatever was on the device in terms of the user ID, if a user was trying to, let's say H. Reyes was trying to view the status for B. Linus, then, and B. Linus was configured as the owner user ID on the device, then all DNs on B. Linus's phone would be accessible in terms of viewing the status. They changed that in 6. It was one of the other major things they changed, other than just subscribe to publish. And they changed it so that we could be more granular and users could choose which lines they wanted to allow to be watched, essentially. So at that point, we still have this owner user ID here for various other things like device mobility. But for Presence, we need to actually associate the user with the line. And we don't do that, as you might think or suppose, on user management end user. Rather, we click on the line, and we scroll all the way to the bottom. And by the way, you cannot be looking at the DN. You actually do have to be looking at the line. And we see, and let's just actually go ahead and delete this so you would see what it looks like. We associate the user with the line. So we click on Associate End Users, say H. Reyes, add selected. It will actually auto-refresh the page, and now it's there. Now we're looking at it as it pertains to the hardware device, so let's click on UPC H. Reyes, Edit Line Appearance, and we need to associate the user with that line as well. One for desk phone control mode, and one for soft phone mode. Okay, no need to save or update. It essentially did that for us. And so that's the first thing we need to do. But we also possibly noticed, if we go back to our list of devices, and then actually let's switch back over to our UPC client, that while these will not show as a green status of online or idle or away or whatever until these users actually get CUPC clients, but they should show the status of their line if they are busy or essentially not idle. So if I go, let's switch over to our remote phone control. If, let's say Jack, wait for it to say updating, there we go. Okay, So if he goes off hook, and we can hear that he's off hook, and you should see it refresh here in a moment, then over on our client, we should see Jack Shepherd have a little yellow icon for the circle with a dash. Okay, and I just hung up because it went to reorder tone. And so we didn't see that. And the problem was the same thing. We didn't associate, first we didn't associate the user, well actually it was already associated, H. Reyes with his desk phone. We did it with soft phone. But we also need to take whatever users want to be watched. So Jack Shepherd and Ben Linus, at least their primary lines. And actually in this lab they don't have secondary lines. And associate the user for J. Shepherd, since that's the user we put in our CCM user page, well actually the CUPS user page, we added as a contact J. Shepherd and B. Linus. So we need to associate each user with their respective line. Now if I accidentally associated both of these users with the line, then every time Jack Shepherd went off hook on 1001 or was present on a call, it would show both Ben Linus and Jack as being busy or non-idle. Okay, so we've got Jack Shepherd, and we'll just go back to the device, back to the phone list, and let's click on the phone for Benjamin Linus, 2001. Scroll down, we'll associate the end user for B. Linus, add selected. I'll scroll down again just to show that it's there. And then we'll go back to our client, and we will restart it, as always. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and do remember my password and auto login. Should have done that a while ago. And always a good idea to show the server health so you know when it's fully up and working. Of course, this will turn to its proper status when we have either soft phone or desk phone control, but it doesn't necessarily tell us about voicemail. Okay, and now if I go back to, let's say, Jack's phone, and let's click off of it, click back on, make another request. There we go. Oh, and because I had associated the user, it is restarting. So we'll wait till that restarts. Or I'll tell you what, we can just pull up Ben's phone. Because it has already restarted. So we'll do every 5 seconds. And we'll go off hook on Ben's phone. And now we see that Benjamin Linus has turned to a dash. Okay, so we are seeing the status for that phone. We can call into his phone. Oops, I dialed the wrong number. And if we call into his phone, we see it ringing. We don't see anything right now, but as soon as he goes off hook and answers that call, then we see he's in a offline and on the phone status. Offline because he doesn't have CUPC. Okay, so I wanted to add those two quite important bits as a follow-up.